The LA Metro is looking to reimagine public transportation and design a better bus system.
Plus, we have a live update from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. See It Live starts now. The LA Metro is conducting a study to understand the demand for transportation in Los Angeles. Good evening, I'm Arlissa Norman.
And I'm Susie Plascencia. Our reporter Madeline Otterly is at a bus stop at Hoover and Jefferson to tell us more about the Metro ridership. Madeline?
Thanks, guys. I'm standing here outside on Hoover and Jefferson with a bus stop right behind me. As you can see, not a lot of people out here right now, despite it being time for that evening commute. But don't let that fool you. Metro is running quite the business on its bus system. Now, I want you to take a close look at your screen as we zoom in to those ridership statistics. It was estimated that just January of this year saw more than 21,263,000 riders on its bus systems, and that number is actually lower than comparable data from the last 2 years. It's actually 1 million less than we saw in January 2018, but it's significantly higher than we're seeing on Metro rail systems. In January of this year, Metro Rail saw about 9,310,000 riders. Again, that's also lower from comparable data that the Metro Rail saw in the last 2 years. And again, these figures are just from the month of January. That's just 1 month. And if we add up the bus and rail from this year, it's more than 30 million riders. Now, Metro is designing a new system to kind of improve the efficiency of their bus system. It's designed to improve flexibility and service. My colleague Charlotte Kim is going to have more on that story. Again, standing here on Hoover and Jefferson, reporting live, Madeline Otterly for Annenberg Media.
Young and old gathered at the Independent Living Center of Southern California in Van Nuys to learn more about an upcoming transportation project, the Next Gen Bus Study. The LA County Bus Network wants to keep up with the fast-paced nature of the city, especially since more than 70% of Metro users take the bus.
Well, the reason we're having these meetings is we need to obtain input from the public so that we can hear clearly, document clearly what it is that they would like to see that our bus system reflects to serve the needs that they have. And what we found is that our system needs to adjust.
Metro will be holding public meetings through March 19th. One young rider who attended the meeting likes to use the app to know where his bus is when he's waiting.
Well, I know everything about where do I go or what's my location. I usually like the bus a lot, but it's very helpful to get in school on time.
Although some of the youth express satisfaction with the current bus system, the older population enthusiastically welcomes the Next Gen bus.
Long Beach, well, hurry up with the train system because it's sucking right now. Just fix it and get it over with.
One expert agrees more focus should be on buses.
Rail is a very expensive way to try to provide service. By reducing bus service, we're eliminating transit riders. If we want to reverse that trend, and we want more riders, and we want to provide more transit, provide more buses.
The Metro encourages people to come voice their opinions at these public meetings. You can find more information at metro.net/nextgen. For Annenberg Media, I'm Charlotte Kim.
Plans to expand infrastructure for the 2028 Olympics are underway. The Metro Board of Directors held a board meeting today to discuss transportation costs and extending bus lines. This is part of Mayor Garcetti's 28 for 28 initiative.
We owe to our constituents that this has to
Garcetti
be
approved motions
and not to generate more revenue. I expect that any revenue will go towards reducing or eliminating fares. But the Olympic Games are something pretty extraordinary that will be happening in under a decade. People are excited to be a part of it and expected for us to build up a part of the future of LA County.
Garcetti approved motions to extend the Metro train lines and begin a study on congestion pricing. But some residents are not happy about the proposals.
All of us are happy with our parents on public transportation because the insult is it's not for the elderly or the disabled because it moves so fast. We're the legislative body and we will work to correct your ignorance and your problematic problems.
Preparing for the 2028 Olympics was not the only thing talked about at today's meeting. The board also discussed potential free transit service on election days.
Staying safe while using public transportation requires more than keeping your body out of harm's way. Riders also need to keep their property safe. Carrying a cell phone, iPad, or other types of devices can make you a target for thieves. According to DPS Assistant Chief David Carlisle, there has been an uptick in attempted thefts around campus metro stations.
What DPS and all campus law enforcement and local law enforcement has seen is an increase in cell phone thefts. As phones become more valuable, some costing over $1,000, they become more attractive to thieves.
DPS says most thefts occur when the bus or train comes to a stop, but safety precautions should be taken on the train as well. A USC student who commutes from Pasadena shares how she tries to stay safe.
I have pepper spray and I try to just stay alert, and I mean, if I see anyone that might look slightly suspicious, I'll try to go in a different train, but that can be hard to do sometimes.
The LA Metro website provides advice for riders to stay safe. Tips include putting your phone away before boarding the bus or train and holding your device tightly and close to your body if you need to use it. Staying aware of your surroundings is a general rule that will reduce your risk of becoming a victim of theft or other crime. Officer Carlisle says DPS has a simple way to remind students to keep their belongings safe. You lock it, you hide it, you keep it. Safety isn't the only concern USC students have about riding the Metro. We spoke to a few of them to get their thoughts.
I use the Metro station every other weekend, mostly to go to Santa Monica with friends to go to the beach. I think it's pretty good, it's pretty efficient, things work well, just tap your card, you're in. And yeah, for me it's pretty efficient.
I'm pretty satisfied with the conditions as it is now.
I mean, it is public transportation, so you do get some characters on the ride over, but I honestly think it's a fine ride.
I myself have been harassed a couple times on the train, and there are days when I used to intern and I would commute when I didn't want to be on the train because of it.
Just LA's metro system in general is not very comprehensive and not very extensive.
Even though there were mixed reviews of LA's metro system, many students thought it was fine to use.
Another barrier to taking the metro is getting to and from the metro station. This is referred to as first and last mile of commute. Some solutions include Metro's bike share program and electric scooters like Bird and Lime. Metro's bike sharing network now has more than 40 new stations in central Los Angeles and more than 60 in West Los Angeles. So we thought we'd explain how to use them.
Okay, rolling.
First, using a credit card or Metro Tap card, unlock the bike for $1.75 per 30 minutes. Free 30-minute rides are available with day, monthly, and annual passes. Assuming you're already wearing a helmet, you're free to ride wherever you want as long as you obey the rules of the road. When you're done riding, park it at any bike share station. If the station's full, you can get 15 extra minutes using the kiosk. Once you hear the dock beep 3 times, you're good to go. Electric scooter companies Bird and Lime hit the streets of Los Angeles in 2017, and while they have received mixed reviews by residents, they're proving to be another quick and budget-friendly way to get to and from metro stations. While self-driving cars and tunnel-based transit are still in the works for the future of LA, Metro hopes to improve the way residents and tourists commute around the city.
Uber and Lyft rides could soon be getting a little more expensive. LA's Metro Authority today approved a study into taxing the ride-sharing companies, and this cost will likely be passed on to customers. Metro is considering these taxes because the transportation companies use public roads and highways without paying maintenance taxes. Metro officials also hope to address lower public transportation ridership and the increased congestion and pollution from all the traffic.
I would definitely probably still use it because I don't have a car in Southern California and it's really hard to get around without one. I might probably use it less, but I would still end up using it.
As long as they wouldn't decrease their, the company wouldn't decrease their pay wage for the drivers at all, I think a little bit of an increase for the customers would be fine, as long as it's obviously not outrageous. I mean, obviously it adds up, but I think a little bit's fine.
LA would not be the first city to levy ride-hailing taxes. Chicago and Stockholm have already implemented such taxes on transportation companies. Now we're going to switch gears from transportation to football and the NFL Combine. Anwar Stetson is here now with more.
Thanks, Arlissa. Let's take a turn to the racing capital of the world, Indianapolis, Indiana, where 5 Trojans are hoping to wheel their way to the top of the NFL Combine. Indy is thousands of miles away from sunny Southern California, but the snowy city is going to be home for NFL fans all over the country from March 1st through the 4th, and stores are gearing up for the influx of fans prepping to support their favorite teams. Now let's take a look at all the Trojans who will be running drills this weekend. The biggest names right now are Cam Smith and Porter Gustin. Gustin, the 6'5", 260-pound defensive captain, went down with a gnarly ACL tear that ended his collegiate career last season. But he's going to bounce back and likely get picked up in the 5th round. Cam, at 6'2", 250, had significant playing time in all 4 of his seasons as a Trojan, working his way up to second-team All-Pac-12. He also led the team with 81 tackles. Like Gustin, he's projected to go in the 5th round. So let's head to the secondary. Iman, Biggie Marshall, and Marvell Tell III put receivers on an island during their USC careers. Tell had an interception and a forced fumble last season, and both of those guys are projected to go in the 5th. But watch out for Tell. He could actually slide up all the way to the 3rd round. SC's only offensive prospect at the Combine this weekend is right tackle Chuma Edoga. The 6'4", 295-pound senior is a product of Atlanta, Georgia, and he is also a 5th-round prospect. We'll actually get to hear from Edoga in a little bit. But for right now, Annenberg Media isn't sitting back on the sidelines. We actually have our very own Sam Arslanian live right now. Sam, how's it going?
Yeah, thanks, Anwar. It's a lot of fun out here. So today was the first day Annenberg Media was at the 2019 NFL Combine, and we got to talk to some professional coaches like John Gruden, Sean McVay, and Pete Carroll, actually, so former Trojan right there. And then, you know, we had the offensive guys today. As you mentioned, that one, Chuma Edoga, we got to talk to him as well. So that was a lot of fun. He talked about his progress for USC and how much he's grown as a player. So why don't you take a look at this?
Style of play so much in college game is offensive linemen are upright and pass protected, and you know they're not coming off the football, they're not in 3-point stances. You don't see that very much. That does challenge us to figure out who's right and who isn't. You know, can they bend, are they flexible, can they come off the rock, and all those kinds of things that we're looking for. Sometimes you know we have to dig it out, and this process will help us, and going to their school visits and stuff will help us because we'll put them in positions that maybe we didn't get to see them in the film.
Maybe when I first got to SC, I was young and dumb. I was doing stuff I shouldn't have been. Was that's mature, and I was going through some stuff in my personal life that I should have had handled and hashed out before I got up there. But I feel like I took those just to the chin. You know, I learned from those experiences, and it helped me to become a better man today. So, I mean, words can't really speak for themselves. Actions got to speak for themselves. So I feel like if a team really got to know me and see how I act, I feel like they'll see that I'm a real mature guy and a good teammate.
So tomorrow is the quarterback day at the NFL Combine, and although the Trojans don't have any quarterbacks participating in the Combine, we will still have coverage of some of the more national players like Kyler Murray from Oklahoma. And then on Saturday, huge day for Trojans fans. As mentioned, 2 linebackers, Cam Smith and Porter Gustin, will be available to media. So stay tuned on our Twitter at @AnnMediaSports for updates on that. Thanks, Anwar.
Thank you, Sam. I'm excited for the Combine, and I'm excited to see your guys' coverage. Stay warm up there and get some rest. The coverage of the NFL Combine begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. on NFL Network. So, guys, they do a lot of stuff at the NFL Combine. They do a 40-yard dash. They do the bench press. I don't know. What sounds more exciting to you guys?
40-yard dash sounds good to me. A former runner, I've been waiting for a time to get back in there.
I could tell you what doesn't sound fun to me, and that's the bench presses, because my upper body strength is not there.
Thanks for watching See It Live. From everyone here at Annenberg Media, I'm Susie Plascencia.
And I'm Arlissa Norman. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com.